Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy today because I have a special guest. She's a fellow Brazilian artist that lives here in Montreal, and she has been working in concept art for animation, TV series and movies and video game. And also she's taking my watercolor class. So Maíra, I'll let you present yourself, talk a little bit about you, where you come from, and whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. First, thank you for the invite. I was very happy.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and also it's nice to have a Brazilian friend
Yes.
around. Yeah, I work in animation and I also work a little bit at games. Yeah, and I live here in Canada. It's been 7 years already, but in Montreal it's only been 3 months. Yeah, I live in Vancouver and in Toronto. Like all the big cities in Canada.
What is your favorite city?
So far Montreal, I think. Yeah, it's hard to compare because it's not been that long, but I like here.
I have been living in Montreal for 13 years, and I never lived in other cities, but I don't wanna move from here.
You're fine here. Especially being an artist, I think.
And let's talk a little about your experience in the animation here in Canada. So you studied in Vancouver Film School, and then what was your first job, and how did you get it?
Yeah. So I studied at Vancouver Film School. It was a 1-year program, and then after that, it took a couple months to get a job. It wasn't like right away, but it was, I think, around 6 months after being graduated, I found a job, and it was a game studio in Vancouver. It was they call Jumpstart, but now the name is Fluffy Dog. So they changed the name.
Cute.
Yeah, because they like dogs. It was a mobile game company. So yeah, that's my experience. Yeah, it was really fun. I was really happy to be able to work as a concept artist, which was what I wanted. That's why I came to Canada. And yeah, it was a concept art, like real job.
Cool.
So it was really cool to be able to design stuff for the game. And yeah, I was mainly designing like environments and props for them. And it was nice to see in the game. And when you work in a mobile game, you also get to test the game.
Okay.
So it's fun to do that too. Yeah, you see what you've done, like what you created, you see there in the game.
After you graduated, you started sending CVs, and or the school helped you to find a job?
Yeah, the school doesn't help much. The best is like some teachers, some of them, they were open, like, but not really. Like, they were open to help you because they know people in the industry, and they can help you to, forward your resume. But for me, honestly, it was a little bit by luck.
Okay.
That I got the job. I mean, I applied in many places, and that's the one that I got, like, in the interview, like all the process. So, but yeah, the school, I think, helps with the networking, and also, like, since we're coming from another country, it was like a good step, like to have a Canadian experience, and then find a job instead of just coming with no experience at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
I think it helped in this way.
And it's cool to see that you already had a lot of experience in different studios. So it was a contract that finish, and then you find another job. How
Yeah,
it
in
works?
the game industry, this company was they call fixed contract, so it was like a full-time job with no like we have in Brazil, like there's no ending, no, which is good. It's more stable, right? Yeah, it was no. It was
no
not
contract.
no contract. Yeah.
Okay.
But in the animation, yeah, all I got was contract. So they do have a starting date and an end date. All of them.
Okay.
Which is like, which always make you like, by the end of the contract, you're always like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
A little anxious.
Yeah, a little anxious. So that's the downside of the animation, let's say.
But why you quit the game studio? Because you are more interested in animation, or?
Well, yeah, first I always wanted to work in animation mostly, and was during pandemic that I was working in the before pandemic, to be honest. And so it was really hard emotionally. Every people had to go through what they went through in the pandemic. I was lucky that I did have a job, so we were able to switch and work at home. But for me, emotionally and personally, I was not feeling very well. I mean, I just needed a break on that time. So I even I went back to Brazil on that time for a couple of months.
Okay.
So it was like by the end of 2020, that's when I did. I was really tired of the pandemic, so I went back to Brazil, stayed there a couple of months, came back to Vancouver, and then I got a job right away in animation, like right away.
That's really cool to hear that
Yeah.
you are very brave to quit a job that was stable. And
yeah, it was hard.
yeah, I understand. I did this already. I mean, I knew that my contract was going to end, but I wanted to try to work in a different style of animation. And in the end was very good, even though I don't work there anymore. And now I went back to the other studio, and
yeah,
we have to follow our hearts sometimes. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was good. It was good. Good break, and yeah, and it was interesting that like the animation was really blooming in 2021.
That's true.
Yeah, so even when I was in quarantine, because when I came back to Canada, I had the quarantine thing going on, and I was making interviews in quarantine because it was like.
Yeah.
Many jobs going on. It was very interesting. so yeah, I got I was doing some interviews. I did interview for Bardell. I was gonna do interview for Wild Brain, like all the good big studios.
Okay, so we're continuing. We're talking a little about the pandemic, how you were doing a lot of interviews and.
Yeah. So when I came back to Canada in 2021, it was like beginning of the year, and I like the animation was blooming. So I did a lot of interviews, even when I was in quarantine. And then I did an interview for Atomic Cartoons. And after a couple of days they sent me a job offer. It was like a dream. It was really cool, and I accepted. So I was gonna do an interview for Wild Brain, but I mean I don't know how things go in the industry, so I already accepted a contract, so I'm not gonna do an interview.
Okay.
But yeah. So I got a job in this show called, actually it's a feature film at Disney Plus. It's called Night at the Museum. It's a franchise, it is a live...
Ben Stiller movie?
Yes. It was really cool because I watched this movie when I was a kid in the movie theater many years ago. So it was nice. I was so happy. And so it was layout position, and I didn't have experience with layout. But you really you learn. I learned on the go.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. I love it. So I was a background painter, and I also did a bit of line for them.
And the Spidey and Friends.
So yeah, that was so we were talking about the contracts that they're over. So the night at the museum, it's short contract. It was like 6-7 months, you know.
Okay.
And then after that, I actually got another contract with Atomic in a show called Young Love, also as a background layout. And this one I chose to be only line, because I really like perspective and it's a lot of drawing. So, and yeah, it was really cool. So I did a lot of drawing, because when you're a background painter, you only paint and you don't draw. So I wanted to do like the opposite. So yeah, and then after that, I was kind of like in this limbo again, like what's gonna happen. They were like, oh, we don't know if we're gonna have another production. And then I started to do another interviews, and at that time I was in Toronto because because my life was I switched from Vancouver to Toronto when I was in the middle of the project, and they allowed me to do that, so it's not a secret.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic they allowed people to leave outside of the province. And also Atomic Cartoons, they have a branch in Ottawa, which is Ontario. And for personal reasons I decided to move to Toronto.
Okay.
And so what I was saying, so I started to do interviews there too when I was getting over my contract, but then Atomic Cartoon came back before before it was over my contract, with the Spidey and Amazing Friends offer. I was like, yes, let's go.
Okay, so all the projects that you work in animation was with Atomic Cartoon.
Yeah, it was with Atomic.
Okay.
Yeah, so but you see, it's almost like a new interview, and you know, even inside the company. Because it's different. Yeah, it's different show, different style, many things like that. So yeah, they have to see if you're a good fit for the project. And luckily, because of my background in 3D, I was a good fit for Spidey.
Cool.
Yeah, and I stayed there almost 3 years in this project.
Okay, so in total, how long you working in Atomic?
I think it was 3 years and a half. So Spidey 2 years now.
Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
And you said that you studied in Vancouver Film School. Did you come from Brazil to directly to the school? How was everything? How you heard about the school, and what makes you interested in the school?
Yeah, so I heard the school when I was in Brazil, and I think it's a very popular school in Brazil, and because they have stands there, it's like a dream school for most of people.
Yes.
And and I was looking to take some course, and I was open to anywhere. I also wanted to study in Europe and everything, but they didn't have like a course that was like 1 year program, full time. They had a lot of schools, like really cool schools in Europe, like but they're usually 4 years. And I was not young when I studied in Vancouver Film School, and I had to choose something that was not too expensive and not too time demanding. So I think it fit perfectly, the 1 year program, and was like a pretty nice school. So it felt like a good choice, like the perfect choice for me.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in Canada.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, it was this school who brought me here.
And it was like a college program then.
Yeah, I mean they call post-secondary school, so you can take this course after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. C-Studio used to do this as well, but more focused in the concept art program.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean they still do it, but I mean now it's everything is different. They don't give you visa, PR.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
uh-huh. But yeah, it's cool that it's just 1 year and then you are and then you can find a job and stay here, right?
Yeah, for sure. It demands a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I came like prepared for that. Like prepare like I'm gonna take this course like there's nothing else in my life. Really. And we live in the school, you know?
And how was the program? Did they prepare you to the work market? I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, if they prepare you to the industry.
To the industry,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, they do because I mean, everything depends mostly on you, I would say. But like the assignments, they are kind of like industry based. You know, like you have to deliver, you have to, you know, have a date and everything. So it's a nice studio, you know. But I think. I think what is nice about those courses is because you also like an environment that everybody is there to study and to enjoy, you know. I mean, to enjoy this time of studying, you know. So yeah, it's really nice to have like your colleagues and everybody's in the same boat. Yeah, that's what I mean. In the same boat, the same mindset of like we need to get out of this school much better than we entered.
Yes.
So it really depends on you, even though like the school, you know, as every school they have good teachers, bad teachers, you know.
You start working and then you start working already working by home. Your first experience was remote, or how it was it?
Yeah, so I worked in a studio for this company, the game company, Jumpstart. Yeah, I was in the studio, middle of it. It was working from home because that's when the pandemic started.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were able to switch.
And what do you prefer, working from home or working in a studio?
Yeah, so me, myself, yeah, like I like both, you know, I really like both. Preferably a hybrid environment, you know, because I like to meet people and be around the other artists. I think it's nice and good for mental health. But I think after the pandemic, there's a big shift, and many people they don't want to go back to the office at all. So I'm like, I like the hybrid. I think it's the perfect because you get to hang out with the people you work with, and you also have this time at home, which is good. And our job is very introspective. Like we don't need to be around all the time. That's true. But I miss the real yeah, the real experience.
Yeah, that's true. It has some good parts and bad parts in both, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember what I was going to ask you about the school. So you said that you were not young when you started there.
Yeah.
How old was more or less the people that was studying there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was one of the oldest.
Okay.
I felt really bad. because that you have like this feeling that you're behind, you know.
Yeah,
so there was a lot of people like 18 years old, 20, early 20s. I was in my late 20s when I studied in VFS.
Okay.
So that's why I really had to take like really serious. You can't fail this, you know.
Yeah, but I believe it can be a good thing too.
Yeah.
Because you take it more seriously. Yeah, I feel that when I studied too, because I studied only 2 months, like full time in studio, but it was like I put I worked 9 months to put $7,000 to work on this.
I see.
I have to make it work.
Yeah, it was like that. And you know, the good thing of not being super young is like I didn't need to enjoy my life at that moment, you know. I was really fine. Like I'm fine. I don't need to enjoy. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I would enjoy with my friends from school, you know, but I don't need to, I need to go out, you know, I need to enjoy the city. You know, it was like some small moments that we would take for doing that, but it was not like I don't need to balance this at this moment. So I was very focused in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. It was really fun because we love drawing anyway. We love art, so it was like it was really cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. And you got out with a nice portfolio then.
Yeah. I was able to have a portfolio to get a job, so that was good. I was happy.
And being a Brazilian there, do you feel different, or there was other Brazilians there?
Oh, there were 2 Brazilians in my class. Yeah, it was fun. It's always fun to have them around. Yeah, one of them left, unfortunately, because same thing with the visa. Vancouver Film School, they don't give visas anymore. They used to, but the laws change. Like Canada laws change, so a lot of people had to leave. That's the downside of that. Like a lot of my friends, a lot of international people. I think was only 1 Canadian or 2 in my class. Yeah, and so after the program, many people left. So that was the sad thing.
Well, for me, the same. When I was in C Studio, there. I would say 130 was Canadian and the rest was from other countries.
Yeah, a lot of people come to study.
And Maíra, why are you doing art in the first place?
Yeah, that's a hard question, and it's a question that we always have to remind ourselves, because otherwise there's no point. But I think comes when you're young and you want to communicate something, right? And you don't know how to communicate. So I think art is a good way. Another thing for me, it was also like the lack of representation in TV series, in movies, you know, when we were young. It was like always these cheesy stories, you know, and
male gaze.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't like it, so I was always dreaming about my own stories, you know, my own stuff, and I figured that only like it's kind of like, well, if there's no one to do that, so I'm gonna be the one who's gonna do it. So basically that.
Yeah, that's a great reason.
So but I'm still learning. Not easy.
That's very very good to know.
What about you?
I guess the same. You have to make your point of view for everybody, because it's hard to communicate, and art is a great way, as you I don't know, but I think it's a question that we have to ask ourselves sometimes.
Yeah, because art is very hard in the end.
Yes, and it's something that for me, I feel that I don't know, it's like a challenge too. I don't know, it's always good to feel challenged. I was thinking like today, like will I ever be good? But I think then I was thinking, maybe the people that I think they are good, they think the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's no there's no ending point. There's no so it's always like trying to be the best as you can be.
Yeah, true. I think there's no ending for it, and we're always trying to improve, and then it is like, there's no ending. It's part of it. So you have to be very resilient when you work with art, I think.
Yes, yes, and it's hard to about this not to be like in a competition to be the try to be the best of everyone, but try to be the best you can. I don't know if it makes sense. My English sometimes all messed up. But talking about it, would you like to give what advice would you like to give to yourself, to your young self?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think one thing for me is like I always wanted to learn to draw, and it took me a really long time, in my opinion, to learn it because I learned how to draw. I'm still learning because it's a long way. But when I was already older, some people they're really good when they're teenage, or their early 20s. And I was not good because I thought that I was going to learn in university, you know. So, and that really kept me not practicing, and because I thought was a talent, it was something given, because I don't know, back in time people would say that, oh, you know how to draw, like how do you learn how to draw, and people would be like, oh, you just draw, and I don't think it's like that, like, yeah, you can draw, but I didn't like the results, so I would stop. So the advice I would say, like, don't believe in those things, like you can always learn. You can learn anything you want, you know, at any age. So don't give up, you know, and yeah, be more gentle with yourself, this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the advice.
That's a great advice. I totally agree.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, keep drawing, and there is no there is natural talent, but you can always improve. And one advice that I always say, like, keep doodling, keep drawing, sketching all the time. Keep a small sketchbook with yourself, and it's something that I'm very happy that. You are doing more traditional art now, huh? You're doing more traditional art.
Oh, yeah. That's true, because I'm very perfectionist. And that's also something that kept me, so long not learning. Because perfectionist doesn't work with art, you know? And I think the traditional drawing, like watercolor, I am being more soft with myself,
Oh, that's really good to hear that.
And I'm having fun, and that's the good thing, right? Is to have fun again, because and also to get out of the computer. So those are the reasons why I doing traditional, which is like people start with traditional and then they go to digital, but in my case I started with digital.
No, I think nowadays a lot of people start with
nowadays,
but I feel that the traditional is much forgiving. And also you make part of the Montreal Plein Art Painters. So it's also a great way of exchanging experience, talking with people. It's
super nice to, like I said, our work is very like introverted. It's like you can stay forever by yourself in the middle of an island, and you can work fine, right? But the human interaction, I think, is very important, like, really. And with the plein air painters, and doing things more traditionally, that's a good moment, because even like a computer is too heavy to bring, to a cafe, to the beach.
Yes.
It's impossible. So it's so nice to just have it there, and you're still like practicing drawing.
And you're talking about that it's a very introspective activity. But it's also very good to like to meet new people, and also soon you're gonna teach. What do you expect about this, about teaching and the?
Oh, yeah. I think with the teaching, I think, like I said, I think it's good to have a balance in your life. Like, I love drawing, and I love to be on my computer on my own.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love that. But when it's only that, I felt that for me it doesn't work. So I think it's really nice to have this contact with other people. And also, another reason why I think teaching is interesting for me is like for me it took so long to build up those skills, you know. And I feel like the good information not always came to me that easy, you know. So it's like I'm gonna try to give people what I didn't have when I was very young.
That's very generous, and I'm sure you're gonna be a great teacher.
Thank you.
I hope I will study with you so that we can exchange the roles.
I hope I can be a good teacher as you.
So nice.
Very, very sweet.
Teaching, it's something that you learn that it's not about you, it's about the students. So sometimes I feel like, oh my god, I need to show that I'm good, blah blah blah. But the other day, the lady said to me like, oh, I'm so happy that I did this. And I felt so like I felt accomplished, like this is for what I'm teaching, not teaching to show how amazing I am, like for my ego. It's for people to learn and to do different things. So teaching is a really nice activity that
and I think like I do take a lot of courses myself, and I feel like I grab a bit from each teacher and I put in my life, you know. I apply that even personally, like, oh, how they see the world, about like what they do, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I took your course. Because I love your work.
Thank you very much. That's I'm honored. You're so talented. But that's true. Like me too. I love taking classes, and I hated school when I was a kid.
Me too.
But it's so nice to discover that we have a passion and trying to be the best as we can in something.
Yeah, that's funny. I also hated school. Like, there was no point for me. I mean, I understand now, and I'm not against. Come on. No. I think it's very important. But like, yeah, for sure, it was not. I didn't feel much interest in school. It's funny because not that we don't like to study, right? We love.
Yes.
So that's the funny thing about it.
I think we can wrap up now, and I would like to thank you so much for being here in my little atelier. It's a really big pleasure to receive you and to know a little bit more about you. And it was a very interesting interview, and you gave a lot of nice advices. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and like I said, it's even nicer to be in person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.